So, I want to talk about this idea that I had about Pandora's box, and I want to explain where I'm coming from. There's a difference. There's a huge difference between knowing that you're being disrespectful and choosing to do the wrong thing, and not knowing. Like, some people are disrespectful, but it's not on purpose. Like, they're just, it comes across as disrespectful because maybe we come from different cultural backgrounds, or, societies and just families have different ways of different love languages. And so when we go out into the world, the way that we behave is rather innocent. It might be ignorant, but it's also, or naive, but it's also innocent, because I really think most people are just kind of trying to get along, doing the best with what they know. And I remember this time where, when I was young, I was like maybe 18. I'm 35 now, 36 in Vietnam. Anyways, the guy I was dating at the time, and I lived together. And I was actually a very sheltered child, so it was a pretty big move for me to just all of a sudden be living with a guy. And my younger brother was with us, and this particular night we were all drinking, and my brother started freaking out. He got so upset, and he just got so mad, and really the whole situation, just now that I'm older, it just kind of was just dark, and everybody's drinking and drunk and upset and drama, and so the guy I was dating at the time said to him, we picked him up and we left the party, and the guy said to him, you know what, if you're gonna be bad, be bad, but don't call yourself good and act bad. And if you're gonna be good, but don't act good and then call yourself bad. Like, own it. Whichever one you're gonna be it. And for some reason, that always stuck with me. And so now I'm going to tell this story about Pandora. Okay, so Pandora is a mythological character that was created by a god. And this god created this character as a demon, as a devilish being, to be sent to these other people that he wanted to punish. And they sent her in the form of a box. And when they opened the box, all of these curses came out. And as like some sick joke, the only thing left in the box at the end of it was hope. Which, you can go so deep with this, because people call vagina boxes, and that's like such an objectification of the female body to begin with. But the point is that woman, Pandora, lived out her mission. You can attribute this also to suicide bombers. She lived out her mission, and because of that, she fulfilled her dharma for the God that created her. She stayed loyal to that God. So she, in a way, because she didn't know the difference, she thought she was doing the right thing by fighting for doing what her God said. She in a sense deserves then to be have mercy, because she was serving a God. Does that make sense? And since she was a tool for somebody, she wasn't allowed to even think for herself. She wasn't even created to think for herself. She should, in the end, have mercy, because why would she know better? And that goes back to the idea of this difference between knowingly being wrong. The king that created her, even though he was probably creating her to get back at people who maybe deserved it, it's still the cycle of violence. And it's still, he created this being to fuck up other beings. But that being that was created didn't know better. So who is the one that's more in the wrong? Being intentionally creating a destructive pattern, or just kind of being a byproduct of that. And I think that a lot of our society is actually like that, like a byproduct of a lot of the behaviors of others. And I do think that at some point, though, we do get enlightened. I do think at some point everybody has a day where they're kind of like, okay, there is a difference between right and wrong, and even if we don't know how to do the right thing, just wanting to says a lot and means a lot. So for whatever that's worth, I just feel like sharing these ideas, because when I'm doing prayers and stuff, I am definitely talking to a very specific energy and spirit. And so if I meet somebody and have an interaction with them, positive or negative, I tend not to make it so much about the person as much as I make it about what the energetic experience is. And if something in me comes up and wants to start saying, oh, this person's bad, or this person's demonic, I actually stop myself, because it's not the person that's demonic or bad. It's the behavior, and I think that's important. Like right now, I'm raising my kid, right? And so there's moments where I'll say, there's a big difference if I say to him, "You're a bad boy," or "You're being a bad boy." There's a huge difference, and it will stick with him, and it sticks with all of us. And even as adults, I think it's important. It's hard. It seems like insincere at some point because we're so used to talking down on ourselves that to try to say nice things, it seems insincere. And because we're such honest people, we don't want to lie to ourselves. But it's important to continue to try practicing saying nice things about ourselves and each other, because it's as much there as the bad is. Like, I'm not saying that the bad isn't there by noticing the good. I'm just saying that the good is there too. All right. God loves you.